something that I'm a little bit afraid of. I want the bag community to grow as much as they possibly can, but I also feel like the bigger it gets, the more of this kind of internet culture continuous fight, like with Android versus Apple, where there's like the diehard Go Work fan is like battling the diehard
Xbox,
triple autism.
PlayStation stuff going
Yeah,
on. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I feel like that. I'm kind of fearful that that could happen to some point, because obviously, if you are invested heavily in an Xbox and the other one invested heavily in a Sony, obviously you are defending what you paid for, and the same will be with bags as well, especially when they are so
it's
expensive.
almost already starting
Really?
in like especially like within the really hardcore like hardcore community, like the community that's really intense, like or in the Facebook, even in the Cardiology Facebook group, you'll see it. It's mostly good vibes there. So
Mhm.
like 90% of it is good vibes, but it's kind of in that point now where it's all done jokingly. But as we all know, every joke is based in reality, right, or in like a real
Yeah,
feeling. So
sure.
it's cameras have experienced this forever, right? Like Sony, Nikon, Canon, Leica.
Yeah.
I know Digital Rev used to make like whole mockery videos based on how a Sony guy and a Canon guy would get along in a conversation or whatever.
Mm.
It's coming, I think, to because I think at least the online community, a lot of it is still sort of in the sort of cardiology ecosystem. At least the vibes are still pretty good there.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
still some good vibes. As long as it can, it keeps its innocence as long as it can. Because it's hard. It's hard because eventually, people just like you said, you've got people who these days who are spending thousands of dollars on special edition
Exactly.
bags, which if you spend that much money on a bag, like you're probably going to want to defend it pretty strongly
Yeah.
if somebody says they don't like it. So I think that at least that because we're sort of late to the party, there are a lot of precedent set on how to, learn from the mistakes that those communities made and sort of grow, at least keep the positivity longer, and I hope that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
So far I've seen most anything that kind of goes a little bit negative towards that way has changed pretty quick and has been pretty community controlled, and people keep the vibes themselves positive. So I think as long as that keeps going, whereas like Apple versus Android is like,
Oh, that's terrible.
it's gross to watch. It's gross to watch.
That's
So,
terrible.
yeah, it's gross to watch. So, yeah.
I don't get it. No, I get it in a way that you heavily invested with your money in buying those stuff, but not understanding that needs are different. I mean, with bags, for instance, bottle compartments, some people will need it, some people won't, and that's why we are more understanding in terms of that needs are different. And I feel like with phones or tech in general, yeah, I feel like people don't really get that people have different workflows, different needs and stuff like that.